Following the invasion of Ukraine, there has been a broad worldwide consensus that Russia breached international norms in its act of aggression. The United Nations is the body charged with maintaining international peace, and yet it has been relatively quiet in terms of punishing Russia. Why? To be clear, the UN has been active in criticizing Putin's move, though, as we will see in a moment, there is a reason why this hasn't been in the news much. On February 27th, the United Nations Security Council convened to discuss the matter. The Security Council has 15 members. 5 of them are permanent: the United States, United Kingdom, France, China, and Russia. You might recognize them as the winners of World War II. More on that in a moment. The other 10 members are voted on by all UN states for 2-year terms. Currently, they are Albania, Brazil, Gabon, Ghana, India, Ireland, Kenya, Mexico, Norway, and the United Arab Emirates. A resolution was put forth in the Security Council to initiate an emergency session of the General Assembly, the main body of the UN in which all countries participate. Procedural resolutions such as this require a 60% supermajority to pass. The United States, United Kingdom, France, Albania, Brazil, Gabon, Ghana, Ireland, Kenya, Mexico, and Norway all voted affirmatively. China, India, and the UAE abstained, and only Russia voted no. But the 11 votes were more than enough to win. Since then, the General Assembly has passed 3 resolutions regarding Russia's behavior. The first deplores in the strongest terms the aggression by the Russian Federation, as well as demands that the Russian Federation immediately cease its use of force against Ukraine. It passed the General Assembly with ease on February 28th. The 141 states in green voted in favor, and only the 5 states in red voted against. The remaining countries either abstained or were absent. On March 21st, a second resolution that basically reiterated the first resolution passed with almost identical support. Finally, on April 7th, a third resolution removed Russia from the United Nations Human Rights Council. The vote was closer here, but still had a comfortable majority. If you haven't heard much about these resolutions, don't feel bad. There is a reason why they aren't being discussed in the news. Legally speaking, they are meaningless, just an expression of frustration by member states. If you want something meaningful, a binding resolution under international law, you must go through the Security Council, not the General Assembly. And that's where things get complicated. When the Security Council voted to initiate a special session of the General Assembly, it took up a procedural vote. A binding resolution isn't procedural. It's an actual policy. Such resolutions also require a 3/5 supermajority. And if we go by the vote to create the special session, we would still have that. Only China, India, and the UAE abstained, and only Russia voted no. But therein lies the problem. In addition to the 9 affirmative votes, each of the permanent members has veto power. That means if even a single one of them votes no, and all other 14 vote yes, the resolution still fails. Russia is a permanent member, and Putin's vote would obviously be a no. And that's the short reason why the United Nations has not punished Russia further. Although that may seem ridiculous, the UN was intentionally designed this way. Like many other international institutions, the UN faces a trade-off between legitimacy and efficacy. If you take away veto power, the UN could pass resolutions that encroach on superpowers' policies. Countries like Russia may then refuse to participate in the institution. And then the UN would cease to be the legitimate governing body of the world. It would be something more akin to NATO at that point, which defeats the whole purpose. In that light, It's not a coincidence that the permanent members were the winners of World War II. They were in a position to dictate the New World Order, and they all pushed for veto power. Writing about the negotiations later, President Harry Truman said that all our experts, civil and military, favored it, and without such a veto, no arrangement would have passed the Senate. As a result, the only feasible way for Russia to be punished at the United Nations is if Russia doesn't exercise its own veto power. That might sound crazy, but it actually has happened once before. Originally, the Republic of China had a permanent seat on the Security Council, despite having lost the Chinese Civil War. That did not sit well with Stalin, and so the Soviet Union initiated a boycott in protest. But that left 4 veto players on the Security Council: the United States, the United Kingdom, France, and the Republic of China. All of them were ideologically aligned. As a result, when the Korean War began, there was no one around to stop them. This is how the United Nations Command in Korea originated. That is, the US intervened in the Korean War under the UN flag because the Soviet Union was nowhere around to vote no. The Soviet Union quickly learned its lesson and ended its boycott. Because Putin today knows full well the importance of Russia's veto, he won't soon be leaving the Security Council. And until that happens, Russia won't face true punishment from the United Nations. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.